Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to replace the battery in the AES NCT, or the Network Connectivity Tool. First thing we need to do is to remove the top 4 screws on the NCT. You can use a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. After removing all 4 screws, you can take the top cover off. You can grab it by the base of the antenna. Just be careful because the antenna is still going to be attached to the board. Another little trick when replacing the battery is to make sure to mark the board location on the case of the NCT. There's the board location on one side, and then on the other side there's some brackets that are deep down in the case. You also want to mark the location of. Now firmly grasp the board and pull straight up until the board is completely removed from the case. And now we have the board taken out of the case, we can disconnect the battery. And if it makes it any easier, after you disconnect the battery, you can also disconnect the antenna. The next step is to cut off the zip ties that are holding the battery in place. I find it's a lot easier if you turn the board over and then clip them from the back side. Be careful when removing the zip ties that you don't damage any of the components on the board. With the Velcro that comes in the kit, we want to make sure to apply that to the back of the battery so it'll hold securely. I always recommend orienting the batteries in the same way so you make sure to put the Velcro in the same location. Now take the old battery off the board and make sure to dispose of it properly. Now we want to replace the old battery with the new battery. When placing the battery on the board, please be careful not to cover up any of the holes. I also recommend that you place the battery in the same orientation so you know that the battery will be able to reach the plug. Please make sure to connect the battery as well. Now we're going to zip tie the battery to the board to make sure that it is very secure. Now that we have the zip ties securing the battery, you're going to be very happy if you took my suggestion to mark how to slide the board back into the case. When putting the board back in the case, it's very important that you do 2 things. One is we want to make sure that you use the markings that we made to put the board back in the correct slot. 2, we want to make sure that you put the screen on the proper side. After having the board lined up with the slots, press firmly down, but not too hard. There are connectors in the bottom of the board that you can break if you don't have the board pushed into the correct slots. Please make sure to put the excess antenna cable behind the board when trying to put the top back on. Be careful when lining up the power button and putting the lid back on the case. You want to make sure to hold this down firmly. Now we just need to put the screws in place and our battery replacement is complete. Thank you very much for watching the video on how to replace the battery in the NCT. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at tech support. The number will follow shortly. Thank you very much and I hope you have a great day. Click the link in the description to order your AES NCT today.